What can I say? Sometimes it's easier that way. And what can I do?
Okay, well. Ooh. I don't get your reference. And neither do they, because I never heard it. Hi!
Hi.
Yo.
My name's Ian.
I'm Josh.
Dale.
Jeremy.
Here's Devin.
Is it Duke Devin?
If only. That guy was cool and sexy. Anyway, excuse you.
I'm
I
both
didn't-
those things.
Okay. Then why are you here?
Touche. Anyway, welcome to our discussions. Our theme song is What Can I Say by Brandy Robinson. Go do the Bandcamp thing that with her album Beautiful Graffiti. Support it.
Support artists.
Give them money.
I gave her money.
I want to be an artist and get money.
That sounded oddly creepy, and I didn't mean it creepy. I legitimately bought her album with money.
You bought the product she was selling.
Yes.
Let's just leave it at that for legal purposes. So, you're fulfilling a request that was given
Yes.
to you.
So a friend of mine on Letterboxd, I don't know if his YouTube channel is Arkham Knight Rider or Arkham Fox. I'd have to look it up, but I don't feel like playing on my phone right now.
So mean.
Yeah. He was talking about our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Maybe it was Arkham Rider Fox. Arkham Fox Rider.
No, it wasn't.
Or Steve, the epileptic gerbil.
That's possible. But talking about our Ninja Turtles discussion, he brought up a show called Dino Force? Something like that, which I had not been able to find, so if you happen to see this and you want to give us a link in the comments, go ahead and we'll talk about it later at some point. But anyway, just in discussion, I said something about doing a Power Rangers knockoff show, and he's like, you should do that. So here we are, Power Ranger knockoffs. We're not going to talk about Power Rangers legit, because that would fill its own time slot. Because there's 4,700 of those damn things.
Yeah, this is about the series that are in the same vein but are not Power Rangers.
If you want to know more about Power Rangers, then Kara has a pretty good rundown of every single Power Rangers. I know he went up to Megaforce. I don't know if he's going to be on
he
that.
talks about a decent amount of Super Sentai as well, but
I've actually only seen like maybe 7 or 8 episodes of any Super Sentai.
Right.
I just don't care.
yeah, it's close to the same thing.
One of me.
Anyway,
So we're going to talk about Power Ranger knockoff, and I think it's only fair to talk about the Power Ranger knockoff that came out like 20 years before Power Rangers. Ultraman. He really is kind of the first Sentai hero.
kind of. It's weird. Because he's like, it's a kaiju movie.
He transforms. And it's heavily themed around live action special effects and monster suits.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ultraman feels like... If anyone were to tell me that Power Rangers wasn't inspired by... Super Sentai wasn't inspired by Ultraman, I would call them a liar. And the other one should be Voltron. Even though they don't transform in Voltron, the whole mech thing is where the Power Rangers Zords combine to make one big anthropomorphic fighter Zord is
it's a Voltron.
100% from Voltron.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you... I think that in the original series, I think they don't really transform. They don't have a sequence.
Right.
But it's going like a Batman sliding down a pole thing, I think.
Yeah.
They suit up.
And that's why Ultraman and Voltron will just kind of passively, because I feel like those two series heavily inspired Power Rangers, and then 700 different groups just straight up ripped Power Rangers off.
Once they become popular in the States and drew money, here came a bunch of original works.
I mean, once it got, as far as it got popular in Japan too, like, was it Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was like, literally an Ultraman knockoff series in Japan.
There's Super Sentai and Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Before we move on a little bit, I did hear some interesting news. The current owners of the Power Rangers, which it is still Haim Saban, but it's under, I think Hasbro, they're under the Hasbro umbrella, but they have actually cut ties with Super Sentai, and for all future Power Ranger series, they will be 100% original. I don't know if I agree with that as a good decision.
I'm not really into that either, just because, one, it seems like it would be more expensive for no gain.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe
I think it had something to do with the licensing of trying to sell the merchandising and toys.
Maybe.
And Hasbro's all about that, so they're trying to be original so they could specifically sell.
And with Shout Factory releasing all the Super Sentai series on DVDs, I could see I believe it's Toho. Or Toei.
Toei.
I could see Toei wanting to get a cut of the American merchandising license too, being like, here's the Super Sentai action figures, but we're not going to let Hasbro get as big a cut because we're trying to license our own, since, like I said, you can go on Shout Factory TV and watch a lot of the Super Sentai series for free on their website.
Yeah.
So I could see there being issues with the licensing, but I don't know, it just feels like extra work for what would essentially be a zero-sum game.
It probably wasn't an ideal choice from them.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can move on now, because I just had that.
Yes. But, so, like, I remember, because in, like, the late 90s and early, these things were everywhere, because, of course, you know, he mentioned Kamen Rider, which got, in America, Masked Rider, which I thought was an enjoyable show.
I like Masked Rider.
I did, too. He rode a motorcycle.
Yeah. The big bad Beetleborgs.
Oh,
I actually liked the Big Bad Beetleborgs.
I did too. It was
This is one of the
silliness.
things I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the name.
The silliness of the Haunted Mansion thing was kind of, but
I liked it. With the genie that was totally not trying to knock on Elvis.
yeah, it was all weird. There were ghosts and or genies.
But they got their powers because they found a genie that granted them the wish.
Right.
In a haunted house that had a werewolf, a Frankenstein, a vampire, and a mummy.
All were trying to pass off as regular people to try society out in their little segments. So whatever.
But the actual story was that the Beetleborgs were a comic book in their world, and they wanted to be the comic book heroes for a day. But when they opened the gate to let the super armor out, he also accidentally let the villains out. So they got to be superheroes for as long as the villains, who I don't even remember their names.
As long as they're
As long as they were still out of the comics, that he couldn't let them not be the Beetleborgs. I guess he could hypothetically let them stop being the Beetleborgs and just let the world get destroyed.
Alright. Well, I guess we had the one that was based off the request, but we couldn't find the...
Yeah, I mentioned it as like Dino Force something, because
Yeah.
I said that. And I said his channel is either, I don't remember, I think it's Arkham Knight Rider. And he talks about movies, and if you're into Transformers, he does a lot of like his Transformer action figure collection. I don't really care about Transformers, so like that does, but if you're into Transformers, he's also like one of the 7 people who actually defend the Michael Bay Transformer movie, so
Well,
if you're one of those 6 other people, then you should probably follow him.
but we looked and we couldn't find it quickly. So.
I did a quick scan, I couldn't find it, so if you are watching and you want to link the video down in the comments, by all means, we'll come back to it at a later date.
Okay.
What?
What?
We'll move on to another weird one I barely know anything about. But this is actually a Sentai series, a CG Sentai series, but that's okay. That was from Christian Entertainment.
Oh, yeah?
I'm done with it already.
I'm not. I want to see this shit.
Angel Force.
Okay, yeah, my interest.
The literal idea of it is a squad of angels, trained and led by the Archangel Michael himself.
Well, who else are they gonna pick?
Well, yeah, are being trained and dispatched to literally fight demons on Earth.
Yeah.
Go on.
This sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome.
Yeah.
But it's Christian entertainment, so it kinda got screwed up along the way.
Why can't Christian entertainment just be as awesome as it?
Honestly, if they just kept the premise but then didn't try to cram any, lessons into it, or heavy lessons
You
into
can
it.
have lessons. The problem with even things like Bible Man, which Bible Man even has potential.
Yeah, they
The
just
problem
really...
is they always end on these 5-minute lecture sessions.
They push too hard. They always do.
It always
Yeah,
ends
the
where they
other thing-
stare at the camera and are like, "Hey, talking to you, audience. This 5-minute speech, I'm talking to you."
I'm
I'm not the audience. I'm not watching that.
I honestly think VeggieTales did it right.
I think VeggieTales is probably the best of this.
The series, each episode was wrapped around a particular scripture, but when the story was done, then they actually told you the scripture and then moved on.
Yeah.
It's not really a TV show, but my daughter listens to Odyssey on tape, and they do a pretty good job teaching you about Christianity and all that.
Like I
Like,
said,
it's not like it's a story, and it's a
But yeah,
story on
that's-
how to be a good
that's
person.
That's still
Boom.
how you could take an awesome idea and ruin it, sadly.
The other awesome thing about what you could do with Angel Force is, in a Sentai form, they transform into the original Angel forms for the
they
mecha
could've-
fight.
they could have started as humans.
They start as like humans, maybe you transform into winged humans for their first transformation.
And then...
And then the monstrous, horrid angel forms for the actual
Oh dear
fights.
God, I'm scared so many children.
Or giant and armored.
but
Wait, how they want to do the giant, multi-eye, ring one?
Oh, that one's an awesome one.
Yeah, that's the point. That'd be awesome.
Not terrify
Next.
children.
No, you could
If it's
easily,
a mech, you can
easily
make them more mechanical looking and be fine.
mechanical looking, golden, clearly good guy things.
I could see the wheel within a wheel being like the belt for the mecha. Yeah. But anyway, we're thinking of ideas that are way more awesome than what they thought when they made the show. So
no. The idea is awesome. Like angels transforming into Sentai heroes to fight demons on Earth. That is a cool idea. I bet they beat all the demons with dumbass moralizing at them.
yeah.
Well, the problem.
You shouldn't steal.
You should save your virginity toward marriage. No, my lost powers are weakened.
Instead, what they should do is
That big finger wag.
Instead, the mecha should summon Michael's archangel sword. That's flame.
The flaming
Oh,
Because Michael's sword is awesome. It is holy fire. And,
One swipe, and the world gets cut in half. Whoops.
well,
You're not gonna hit the world. You hit the monster demon.
after all, God gave his promise to not destroy the world anymore. After all,
Exactly.
Yes. But that's Michael, not God.
Michael is the most loyal angel under God. That's not going to happen.
On purpose.
Were we supposed to be talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we kind of were, and we deviated like we always do. Anyway,
Another Power Ranger knockoff series. I can't remember the name right now, but I had a lot of the toys. It was a series where the monster of the week and everything was all set in the cyberverse.
Was it Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad?
Or is it
I don't
VR Troopers?
Probably that sounds
VR
VR
Troopers.
Troopers, probably.
We
with
are.
Joey Lawrence's brother.
Yes.
No, but I don't know.
We are
Then I had a
VR.
talking dog.
Could be. It
Did the
ended
one
up
guy
only
have,
with
like,
3
half-
people.
3 people. One guy had a half red, half blue suit.
Couldn't remember. Can't remember that.
And then the suit.
All I remember is the one of them was basically an Ultraman ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was a dragon mech that was just a long thing, and then the other mech was a big airship type of thing.
I think that's VR Troopers.
I know what you're talking about, so.
Although, I'm trying to think. Although, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad had a big Ultraman dude, and, one of them was a drill tank, I think. A tank with drill heads, and a big airship. I don't remember what the mechs for VR Troopers were.
Oh well.
Yeah, one of them was an Ultraman ripoff. The other one was like I said, a big old airship that seemed to have no middle because it kind of like arched around. But that was just because when they formed up together, it became the armor. Like its thrusters and everything, when they came the legs, the front things, and it wrapped around and became the armor. And then the other mech was a non-moving serpentine dragon. Its head was pretty much the only mobile part.
That's got to be VR Troopers, because I don't think that was what the mech setup was for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I don't think that's what the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad...
Unless there's a third series we didn't hear of before that you're thinking of.
That's entirely possible. I mean, I'm fairly well versed in...
It was a fairly popular series, popular enough to distribute toys and everything, and I had toys, all three, and I liked them.
That's another wasted potential Sentai show. It should have been done a lot better. Also based off of religion, but not Christian religion. The Mystic Knights of Tir-na-nog.
See, I thought we were going to save that
go.
one for way later, but I like the Mystic Knights of Tir-na-nog.
Yeah, it was
Fire
that
within
was a
me,
cool
earth
one.
beneath me,
Air above
me,
me, water around me,
force
force
Before me.
I love
I'm
that.
lost.
They were
think a medieval fantasy adventure where
the Tir-na-nog, which would be the realm of the fairies.
Irish heaven.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the fairy king gave these
five
five
kids.
royal. They were all royalty, and he.
Two of them weren't, remember?
I thought they found out the Earth guy was like secretly a noble, like later in the series.
Well, the fire.
Fire guy, I'm almost certain was a prince, or else he wouldn't be able to have the love interest with Princess Deidre, which was the air lady. She's the only one whose name I remember.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Rowan was fire.
Yeah.
But yes, they gave him magical weapons, a sword, crossbow, which was way anachronistic for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball and chain, trident, and axes, and they could say fire within me. And then it was earth beneath me, water around me, sky above me, force before me, and they got like magic, like knight-looking armor.
elemental armors, yeah.
Yeah.
And like they'd throw fire, and the earth guy would like create earthquakes by striking his. And they had to fight like the evil fairy queen or something.
Who would
Well, actually, she was just an evil queen, but the evil fairies were empowering her.
Yeah, she was using the ability of someone who was opening up to be the second season villain, who was a brownie.
Oh,
He was a dark fairy.
No, but Mystic Knights of Tir-na-nog was actually kind of good.
They
like these
and the thing is, they actually sicked real mythological creatures against them.
Yeah.
Also, they actually showed like war, because like the evil queen and the good country were at
They
war.
were
So like
fighting.
you saw like the rank and file soldiers actually doing battle.
Siege weapons.
You didn't see like bloodshed or anything like that, and they never overtly mentioned death that often. But they actually showed like battles, because the evil queen, she wore black. Their armor was black and purple. The good guys were red and silver.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine for the bad guys because black and purple sounds cooler to wear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it is.
It'd actually be very hot because black absorbs a lot of sunlight. And
Yeah.
I'll deal.
anyway,
What was I was just playing? So the ones we had mentioned before, VR Troopers, which is cyberspace. That one was probably when the Power Rangers first got popular. VR Troopers and Masked Rider would have been the two immediate follow-ups to. And VR Trooper, I don't remember a lot about VR Troopers.
I remember it lasted longer than a lot of them.
The main character's armor was like had like half red and half blue, and it looked kind of cool. And that's really and they had a dog named Jeb that could talk. That's what I remember. Also, it was bastardization of two different Japanese Tokaetsu series. So like a lot of the stuff was super awkward where they were trying to splice both series. Then the other one we were talking about, which is Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, had the best villain named Kilobyte, voiced by
I believe it was Tim Curry, yeah?
Tim Curry. The
For
villain.
some reason, his name was the first one that came
Of
up.
course it was.
Tim Curry played a computer virus.
Yep.
And I remember he had a flunky who was an artist who would draw these monsters,
And
scan them into his computer, and then
Then he
Kilobyte would make
turn
them real.
Yeah, turn them into computer viruses. And the superhuman samurai cyber squad had to go in to fight the computer monster virus. My kids are into Power Rangers, and that's kind of one of the things that brought it up. And now I'm kind of like,
They kind of like that mini force thing, right?
there's this Korean one called Mini Force. And it is
Is that
just
the animal one?
what?
Is that the animal one?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I kind of like it. It has the best theme song ever, though. And you just have to look up the Mini Force X specifically has like the best stupid campy theme song. It is, but be warned, it is an earworm. Yeah, they're like little animals, and this villain's trying to take over the world, and he has like little tiny robots.
I was just trying to take over the forest.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So they transform, they're like little tiny animal playing little, which I guess kind of does get rid of the whole, like, abandoned warehouse district problem. It's like, in Power Rangers, how many abandoned warehouse districts can get smashed by these giant robots? And then the monster gets big, and they little tiny, like, RC cars that transform into robots.
I know one that always got knocked, but I really, really liked it.
No, let's save that one for the end. I know what you're going to talk about.
Oh, okay, I'll...
Come on, we gotta save something big for the end.
Fine, I'll do this one. Ronin Warriors.
Oh, man, I almost forgot about Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors was legit good.
It was completely animated, so not doing the live action Power Rangers bits, but it totally was a Sentai series.
Oh, yeah, it was. And it was, once again, it was actually good until the white armor came in.
Yeah, the armor of Inferno
Inferno.
basically ruined everybody else.
Well, yeah, because the only way he could activate it was by taking the power of the other 4 Ronin Warriors, and which basically meant that once that armor was introduced, the other 4 guys were just there as a power battery for the armor of Wildfire.
And so that was no longer interesting.
They turned into the armor of Inferno. Wildfire, Hard Rock, Torrent, Halo, and... Strata. He had a bow and arrow that made tornadoes.
All I know is one of the evil guys became a good guy, and he was my favorite, as it turned out. He became the new priest dude after the priest dude died.
Spoilers.
And it was like in the 90s, maybe late 80s, so, not much of a spoiler. You should have seen it before, you plebeians.
Excuse me. It was in the 80s. I wasn't even born.
No excuse! We have streaming services!
I'm not sure you can stream it anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
That's okay, the series is still absolutely worth watching.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That actually is such a minor detail, it doesn't matter. By the way, the priest dude dies. Okay?
What if I fell in love with the priest dude?
I guarantee you wouldn't have.
Because he was kind of boring until the villain became the new priest dude.
Then he was interesting because he was always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the evil warlords...
Which warlord was it? Was
Anubis.
Alright, you got my interest.
The evil warlords were all named after dark gods.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't Anubis the dark god?
Because he's a death god.
Anubis.
And if I recall, one of them actually conquered Japan.
Well, like the... I
And
think
the Ronin Warriors were fighting to get him out of there.
That was the Shogun.
Oh, okay.
The head boss who took over.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
wasn't it the first episode they create that black cloud that, like, negates over, like, a huge part of Japan that negates all technology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the first episode, the villains had basically won, and the Ronin Warriors just kind of showed up with their tiger to, like,
Yeah.
stomp some ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were prophesied this would happen, and they prophesied the warriors would come to face the evil. Next thing you know, here comes this guy strolling through downtown with a white tiger at his side.
Actually, all of the warlords were named after Egyptian gods.
I believe so.
Anubis, Sekhmet, Set.
Okay, Set makes sense.
They were all named after... Yeah, they all were named after Egyptian. Set was the dude with the 6 poison swords, right?
Probably Sekhmet was the poison sword,
So-
because Sekhmet was the goddess of poison.
Yeah.
Okay,
she's
so
super
Set
weird.
would have probably been the dude with the surigama, the
Probably.
sickle and chain.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably.
But,
What are the others?
What?
I'm interested in the names now.
Yeah, if you can find Ronin Warriors, you probably have to watch it.
totally watch it.
You
Definitely.
might have to watch it illegally. You might be able to find them free on YouTube. Somebody might have upped them on YouTube. So if you get on there quick enough, you might be able to. That's why me and the kids watched Ultraman Toward the Future. Was we watched them on YouTube till somebody took them down.
Text me that later, John, so I don't forget.
I'll try to tell you about Running Warriors.
It's not interesting.
Nah, Ronin Warriors. is actually really good
My
series.
favorite was Roan of Strata. The bow wielder.
I like
The star bow.
Halo.
Just not to bring in something completely out of context, maybe, but
It's what we do.
you
Yeah.
keep saying Ronin Warriors, and the thing that keeps popping in my head is the series that is known in Japan as Saint Seiya.
Oh no, but that is a different.
I would call it, what was it? Knights of the Zodiac in the States?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that would
For
be
some reason-
Sentai, wouldn't it?
I would think, I've probably seen 3 or 4 episodes.
Knocking on the door. They don't go giant mecha.
Well,
Not a lot
they
of,
don't. They don't necessarily have to. I mean, Ronin Warriors then.
Mhm.
Well, that's the best part.
But similar,
It
we
is.
have G-Force/Battle of the Planets plus whatever the Ninja Force. It was the same show.
And they also were called Eagle Riders in America at one point. Because that's what I watched when I was a kid. They were called.
But you know,
Much like Saint Seiya, I would call that one Sentai adjacent.
yeah, yeah.
Because again, no giant mechs.
Probably eventually we'll end up doing a magical girl episode. I already said that the Sailor Moon knockoffs are kind of their own things. So
Actually, yeah, Knights and Saint Seiya is closer to Magical Girl.
I would, I actually would think, yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about, so.
Saint Seiya is still an ongoing thing in Japan, but
I mentioned this before. There was an old anime series, or was it a movie? Well, maybe both. But Bubblegum Crisis.
probably both.
I've never seen.
Yeah, I think there was a
Bubblegum
movie.
Crisis.
There was a movie, definitely with a dub, because the main place I saw Bubblegum Crisis was that movie playing on like Action Max or whatever. One of the weird pay.
But
pay
it was
channels.
It's one of those things where you could
HBO
argue
knockoffs, Cinemax.
that
knockoffs.
you could argue they are Magical Girl or Sentai. They feel more Sentai to me. But they are. It was a team of I think 3 women, police women, who fight robots. They start off with the whole cop gun thing, but they usually have to call upon their battle armor. Their incredibly bikini-esque battle armor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Japan!
Yeah.
But
Oh,
when they do that, they wreck all the robot crap in the world with the power of skimpy metal clothing and helmets. Full helmets, they'll protect the head, no problem.
Most likely, Josh, what happened is the one that's famous is Bubblegum Crisis. The Bubblegum Crisis that's famous is an OVA, and there is a series of it.
That's very
That's
likely.
possible.
That's very likely, because a series that wasn't translated, but an OVA that was.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a series that was on the tip of my tongue and I just lost it. It was one of those ones. Oh no, would we call Guyver Sentai?
That's complicated.
Guyver is complicated.
I mean, it definitely isn't a team Sentai.
Neither was Ultraman.
Yeah, but I was iffy about Ultraman. But okay. Yeah, I guess Guyver could count as Sentai.
Which Guyver is amazing.
It
The live,
it kind of lived off of Ultraviolence, I believe.
Oh, the anime and manga, yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
the live action movies are hyper camp.
Yeah.
Oh, they are campy. One of their monsters are called zoonoids. They're people who get mutated. One in the movie, one of them's a rapper.
Yeah. That's dumb. But
No, the anime is squishing heads and
Well, I'm out.
no, it's amazing.